difficulties. You gotta
Sorry.
go live when you do that.
Control, this is SD682. Approach to space.covert.
SD682, you are cleared to deliver Fleet Admiral Palmer and party to Communications Studio 01. Over.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're from. This is your fleet commander. I am on broadcast mobile from I-57 in Central Illinois. So tonight, I want to welcome Commanding Officer Jose Carlos and Cesar of the Minerva. I'm not going to butcher your name. And of course, welcome to Kim on this episode of International Ask Me Anything. How are you gentlemen doing?
Fine, thanks, sir. It's a privilege to stay here with you and with Admiral Kimberly and my Captain Jose Carlos. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. How's the weather down where you guys are at? Y'all staying warm?
Yeah, warm here in Guadalajara. We are 24 Celsius, 74 Fahrenheit, something like that.
God, I wish it was 74 here right now. Woo.
28 here.
So, Kim, unfortunately, with me being mobile, I'm not able to see any questions or anything. So, if you could, any questions that pop up, will you please put on to the screen?
Will do.
How's everybody's Christmas?
We were traveling that day coming back from Charlotte. We made it home before a bigger snow hit. So I thought it got down to 7 degrees here.
Okay, Kimberly. Mm-hmm. Kimberly, your transmission is broken. I can't understand you.
Well, it's okay. People understand me anyway, usually.
Okay. Okay.
See,
well,
okay, we have a hello. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Kimberly, please.
Well, I was going to say Paul Williams says hello. Ian Struthers from the USS Alba, and Donald Faulkner. Oh, Paul Williams has -10 Celsius.
Oh, no,
wow.
Thank you.
Russell will be joining us shortly. He's in the process of rebuilding his computer system.
Oh, Lord,
okay.
I know how that feels.
Oh, let's see. Rachel says she's a little jealous of the Southern Hemisphere summer weather. She's in Montana.
Wow.
How cold is it there, Ray? Yeah, you all know Rachel, Miss Ray.
Yes.
Trooper.
Yeah.
Slow down. Like really slow.
Where are you all going, Steve?
We went to pick up Fiona.
Oh. So you got a car full?
Yeah. Yep. So we had a drunk driver that was swerving all over the road, and I had to call the troopers from another state in and had to identify myself, and they're just now catching the guy, but he's almost like trying to kill like 100 people.
Oh, it's terrible. Okay, our Starfleet vampire's here, John Hardy.
Hello, John.
And Rachel says it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Not bad. And Anne Grace from Dublin.
Hello, Anne. Huh?
Yeah, Rachel, I didn't have mine on, and everybody else did, so I hurried and threw one on.
We had to come up and get Fiona for her Christmas break with me, and we had to go all the way up to Champaign, just a little south of Chicago. We left out at like 4:30 this morning. We're just now getting back towards Kentucky.
Ooh. The weather pretty safe?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's cold. There's no snow or ice, but it's cold as hell. And then listening to my wife over saying, "Oh, I gotta go bathroom. I can make it. I can make it." And then she passes the exit. No, I can't make it. Oh, well, it's all right. Because you know what? This goes in from 57 to 24, and you can stop right there in Vienna.
Thank you, John. Hey,
You
does
ain't got
anybody?
choice, so there's nothing between here or there. So special.
Me too. Hopefully it'll show up. Well, no, when would it show up? It'd have to be in flashbacks on Picard. She said the uniform that I have on is her favorite, and that she hopes it gets more screen time. So how would that work if they did flashbacks on Picard? Oh, or maybe if they
Yes,
sent
it's Picard.
What if they
Yeah,
sent?
it would have to be flashbacks because they don't. It's not that uniform's no longer worn. Which I don't know why they made that uniform for like 30 seconds of airplay.
Unless they send Philippa back to that time and she has go-rounds with that Commander O. Mm-hmm.
This
Oh,
is
you got yours.
Picard. Yeah.
Oh, look at the kids. You're all so lucky.
Brat.
They're not brats.
Hi. Greetings from Guadalajara, Mexico, kids.
Hey, Fiona, these two people are here in Mexico. Oh, okay. Yeah, they were brats. We stopped for lunch. They were brats at Denny's.
Oh, I would give anything to have those brat years again.
Yeah, we'll mail them to you first class.
I'd take them in a minute. I'd come get them. Fran says, howdy, everyone. Hope you all had a nice Christmas.
Hello, Fran. I hope you have a Merry
you.
Christmas and a Happy Holidays. So do we have any questions? I know that we did this early for our international members, so there should be some international members from Region 20 and 11 and 9.
18.
Have you guys heard from your RC down there in Mexico lately?
No, I don't hear it.
Mario, I think is his name.
No.
Jose, has he been in contact with you? Mario Martins?
No.
What?
Mario and me have communication.
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
I think it's difficult to talk with him.
Steve, did you hear that? He said they've had no communication with him.
Yes, it's difficult.
It's very difficult.
No, never ask me, never answer my message, never.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that then.
Yeah, also, if I may, Captain, I have some questions related with that, and I don't know if this is the forum to take these questions about the region, because we are on broadcasting. But I don't know if you want to talk about that or on privately, if you want to talk.
Yeah, Cesar, you can always send me a message and tell me about your concerns you got, and we can go from there.
Okay, in a private message or here?
No, private message.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. It's okay. There's no
Oh, I
problem with
wanted
that.
to see a fight.
You always want to see a fight, Kim.
I'm kidding.
Okay, no problem.
I
Okay.
have enough fights. Yeah, I have enough fights going on. I don't need no more.
Okay.
Anne asked about the database.
First quarter next year.
Excuse me?
That's as of right now. They are working on version 3. The core is done, and Tony Knops is working on modules. But of course, right now, the primary thing is to get everything moved over to the new hosting site.
Okay.
Okay.
There's Miss Pip.
Well,
So, Cesar, how many crew do you guys have on your chapter down there?
Sorry, Steve, your transmission is broken. So, do you please talk slowly, a little slowly?
How many
because
people?
because the noise of the car and well, okay.
How many people do you have on your chapter?
Okay.
How big is your
right
crew?
now, yeah. Okay. Right now, active people are 8, but we are on standby 10 people. The major problem we have in the chapter is the language barrier. That's our major problem. That's the reason our chapter is not growing like we desire. And
He had to mute himself real quick. Steve, you're muted.
Yes, hang on 1 second.
okay.
I don't want to argue with my wife on live stream.
Oh, Amber, just hold it.
For an hour and a half.
She's been holding for an hour and a half.
Like, I've had to pee really bad for an hour and a half.
Oh, well, let her go to the bathroom, and that way you can talk.
I'm not the one driving. See?
Oh,
That one's driving.
you don't want a UTI. Take the next exit.
I am.
Okay.
Next gas station on 24 is like 20 miles away.
Are you freaking kidding me? You said after 24. You're gonna see me punch Steven in the eye. Punch him in his nuts. Punch him in his eye.
Enough. Sorry about that. I'm going to slap a kid on the side of the interstate.
Okay. Cesar said that a language barrier is a problem because they have 10 on standby and 8 active members.
But what's the language barrier that they're having issues with?
okay, as I think you know, or the board know it, we started translation for the handbook manual and other manuals. That's a big issue with us because the people is growing. Well, how do you say? They expect to have the new manuals in Spanish to know all the process of the Starfleet, all the rules and etc. And this is a great a major step in the organization to have the manuals on Spanish. That will allow us to reach more people because unfortunately many people here in Mexico do not talk English.
Understand?
Understand English, yeah, and that's the major problem here in Mexico. But with the translation of the manuals, we have a great opportunity to reach more people. The problem is that sorry, okay.
And a bit the rest rhythm, the mounted rhythm is more easily to Spanish and translate the regional rhythm to English. It's more
Uh-oh. He lost internet.
Oh, he lost internet. Yeah. Okay.
There was a couple of questions. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Kimberly, please.
Okay. There was a couple of questions about the academy courses, but I can't answer them, and only Steve or somebody from the academy. So we'll just, for those that ask those questions, just save that. There's another one of these on the 30th, and maybe let me make a note, and I'll see if I can get an academy person here.
Okay.
Let's see. It's the one for the United States. Academy. I'm still old-fashioned. I write on notes. And thank you for the compliments some people giving me on my hair. I didn't know it looked so bad before, but it was vanity that made me cut it. So that's all I'll say. Oh, you are Carol. Can you answer those questions? Let me put this up here. Because Pip asked it. There. See that question, Carol?
Okay, Martin Amble says Carol is here. Kimberly
Yes.
She can answer it.
Okay. Carol, read that question I put up on the screen. Okay. Do you want to come on for a second and answer that, or would you prefer to type it? Well, Carol, while you ponder that, yes, John, I received an award from the USS Essex, and I'm very happy about and honored. The Essex and my ship are going to be sister ships. Oh, put you on. Okay, Carol, I will find you. Let's see, invite, copy. Carol Thompson. Yes, John. Okay, Carol.
Okay.
Oh, God, do I sound like that?
Okay, no problem. Okay.
There we go. So Cesar, Jose, if we can get more manuals translated to Spanish, then you would have more people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they can understand the rules and all the politics of the Starfleet, and this is a great step into the Spanish talking people. Yeah, this is a great. Already, we have already the MHP manual, the handbook manual. It's already translated and it's already in the board. And right now we are working. I'm 90% advanced with the Starfleet data protection policy, and I am 90% advanced in the translation of that manual. With Anthony DeAngelis, we worked closer to start the next year with the voice. How do you say the translation in record in Spanish? The manuals also to be available in audio also. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
And I think we have my captain Jose and I have a lot of proposal about that, but I don't know if we wait to Steve or we already start to bring to you these proposals about that.
You could talk about some plans that you would like to do to further your region and your chapter. Unless it's something sensitive, then you would have to discuss that with Steve, like the other thing.
Okay. there's no problem. Well, in this issue that the translation of the manuals,
that you would like to do to further your
Carol,
region
okay.
in this chapter.
Okay.
Unless it's
Oh, I
something
heard my
sensitive, then
voice.
you have to be like the other thing.
Oh,
Carol, make sure
no
to close
problem.
the stream
Well,
on
and
Facebook.
okay.
The translation of the manual.
That you would like to do to further your region in this chapter. Unless
There. Lord, I sound terrible. Okay, Fran said it's nice to see the international folk on here.
I'm hearing three different voices.
You need to turn off the Facebook screen.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Lord, I sound terrible. Okay, Fran said it's nice to see the international folk on here.
I'm hearing three different voices.
You need to turn off the Facebook screen.
Does somebody else have it on the speaker instead of earbuds?
Lord, I sound terrible.
Mine are off. I turned them off.
Okay, Fran said it's nice to see the international folk on here.
It's not him.
I'm hearing
You need to turn off the Facebook screen.
I
Does
did.
somebody
Wow.
else have it on the speaker instead of
I know
earbuds?
it's relaying. It's on a delay.
They're off. Let me get mine.
Not him.
I'm hearing
You need to turn off. Okay, that was crazy. I've never had it repeat that many times before.
I know. It was like we were stuck in a temporal anomaly or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. All right, Carol. Make sure the only window is open is StreamYard. No other Facebook windows.
Okay.
All right, let me close all my windows. Hang on. StreamYard, close other tabs. All right. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's just us.
All right, there you go. Crisis averted.
All right.
All right.
Now I'm here to. Nope, nothing.
You don't hear anything, or?
Okay.
Yeah, we hear you fine. You're good.
I'm hearing different people talking over each other.
If you're still hearing things, they're coming from your PC. That means you have a window open somewhere. Because we don't hear it since you put your headset on.
All I've got is stream. I'm hearing everybody, and I'm hearing echoes.
Yes.
Okay, let me.
So,
oh, I just found. Okay, I see it. Okay, how's that?
we hear you fine on our end, and the recording end's fine. It's just on your end you were hearing echoes because you have your headset on now. So if the echoes are gone, then you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm good now because I found one hidden under the main window.
Oh, it's sneaky.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, let me know when you want me to answer the question about the courses that are not compliant.
There we go. There's Pip's original question.
Okay, Pip. Yeah, she's one of our people. Good to see you, Pip. What most directors have been doing who can't get it done by now are proactively asking us to turn off their colleges so they can get caught up. Now, because we can't leave 2 and 3 year old PDFs up there because they're not compliant. They don't have the correct return address, and they don't have a a 2020 reviewed updated date posted on the manuals, which is something that that the CS wanted, and I wanted it on all the rest of the materials because our archives were so old they were no good to anybody. So if you don't have them done now, just ask us to turn it off, or you can turn it off, and depending on your access. And then when you get it done, we'll turn it back on, and that's fine. Is that okay? Does that help you, Pip?
Okay, Rachel says, Carol, can you clarify what needs to be compliant? Is it changing everything over to the QAMs, or is it the updated materials?
No, the QAM can wait. That was the previous administration, and they were driving us under the dirt with all the directives. All we need from you for this year is to make sure that the return address on your exams say, please return to the director shown on the Moodle page. Then also you need to have a renewed review date. And I don't want to just see somebody slap a December 2020 date on there. I want to know that you've actually reviewed it, and you put reviewed on December 27th, 2020 by, and I want to know who reviewed it. And that's got to be on your manuals. Number one, it's got to be on your exams, and I'd like to see them also on the keys, so I know that when I have to replace, if I have to replace somebody's materials because their computer crashed, I know that that's the correct key for that exam. So those three things need to be have the reviewed or re-updated date on it. So that's same thing as for if you have a manual. Also, don't forget to check the validity of your, if you don't have a manual, check the validity of your resources, because a lot of those resources change. We've had several people have to rewrite their exams because of one of their resources either disappeared or somebody went in there like Wikipedia and changed everything. So definitely you've got to check your resources. So that's the spiel, and that's just for this year. Next year we'll deal with the QAMs, the conversions and stuff like that. That's as you can do it. I mean, we're not asking you to have it done by a certain date. So that'll be a 2021 project.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question for Carol before she leaves?
Oh, I'm leaving. Okay.
Well, this is international.
No, I'm international. I'm international for these folks, but that's.
I mean, it's an international, and I mean the idea is that everyone can ask questions. So
I'm just pulling your chain.
She's known for that.
Yep.
But I appreciate you popping in for that. But I tell you what you can do. If you heard what Cesar was talking about, how they want to get as much stuff translated about the policies and things of Starfleet. Is there hope for that in a timely manner?
Well, the best thing that can do for us, I mean, most of us over here in America, well, I wouldn't say most of us, but getting a good translation, the only way you're going to get a good translation is to have a native speaker in that language who's also fluent in American English or British English, that's fine, or Australian is fine, just so that they can give a good translation, because we want it grammatical. We want it to be punctuated properly for the Spanish speaking people. So if folks on the international ships will get together, make it a ship project to translate are mostly our international and our fleet level resources. You know, those are number one. Those have to be done first. Something like John Wayne can wait. You know, but all the things that are in the International Leadership Institute should be translated into your native language. And we want native speakers. This is a project I started some time ago, and we weren't getting much help at all. And so you've got to say, hey, we have a chapter project. We want to translate such and such. But check with TJ Allen, who's the CES, and with Jill Rayburn, who is the commandant of the Starfleet Academy campus on that, so that they are in the loop. Because I'm don't have any big authority anymore. I'm just on support. That's all I do now. So please try to get somebody on your chapters to do the translations for us.
Okay, Carol. Hi, I am Cesar Sosa Ficachi. I am XO from the USS Minerva here in Mexico, in Guadalajara, Mexico, and I'm already doing the translation of the handbook manual, and already the board, the Admiralty board, have in his hands the already translation for this handbook manual, and also we are working with the translation of the Starfleet Data Protection Policy, and I have 90% advance of this manual, and I am working close with Anthony DeAngelis. Do you know Anthony DeAngelis?
Yes.
Okay, I'm working with him, and also Jose and I and my oldest son, we are members of the USS Minerva, and we are members too of the Spanish translation team. And we are committed with the translation of the old manuals, and also if you want, I'm willing to translate all the text from every manual if you have, and that's one issue I want to put on the table about that, because if we work together and we have your support for the Admiralty board and also with the Starfleet Academy, we can work together, because we are Spanish speakers, and also we manage the English not well as we want, but also manage the English. And my oldest son have a degree about in 3 languages: French, English, and Spanish. And we have a great team to work about the manuals, and we have here in the USS Minerva here in Mexico, we are willing to work closely with the Starfleet Academy and with the Starfleet to translate all the manuals to Spanish. We have, and this is our proposal here, because the reason we don't have a lot of people members of the Starfleet is the language barrier. And we see the captain and we see a great breakthrough with here, because if the Starfleet International Association came really international with another language, we have a lot of opportunity to reach a lot of people Spanish speaking. Okay.
Yeah, that's great, because we need dedicated people like your chapter to get us the Spanish and if your son can do the French, I don't know. We may have somebody on the Versailles doing stuff. So you've got to talk to TJ Allen, who's our CES, and you've got to talk to Jill, because they coordinate who is doing what. But let them know that you have a lot of resources and your chapter is willing to just dive right in and help us, because you want it translated with a Spanish home speaking person, not somebody who's learned Spanish from an American college. You don't want that. You want it, but try to do it. In Spanish, try to do it in not colloquial. Do it in, is it Castile, the one that everybody knows how to speak or can understand or read? Whatever it's like you have High German and Low German, and High German is the one that everybody learns. We want the same thing in Spanish so that you don't have any colloquial local problems with dialect and stuff.
Yeah. In Spanish is the same. For example, with the Spanish people from Spain, we have a lot of words change about with people from Venezuela and also Argentina. We have a different words for different meanings. But the work we have is the how we call neutral Spanish for understanding for everyone. Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's what we want. Because because we do have potential people in many countries. Some of them are not filled yet, some of our regions, but a lot of them are Spanish. I mean, Spanish is spoken almost as much as I'm trying to think of which one. There are some languages that are spoken universally, and Spanish is one of them, and we need to have that one in a form that.
Cesar, there's a comment for you there. You see that from Ray?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's my college. The academy is very low test. It's the mostly schematics and visuals. I wonder if we could talk about how they make it accessible to Spanish speakers. The amount of the translations will be super low. Yes, of course, we can talk about that. There's no problem with that. I work 25 years in Aeromexico, and I work with also with Delta Airlines and something like that, and Americans and other airlines. And I saw a lot of manuals in English, and also I helped to translate it to Spanish to our people. It's no problem if we have schematics and visuals. Ray, if you want to contact me, I am willing to talk with you and work with that. It's no problem. But you need to reach to Anthony DeAngelis, because he's our leader on the translation group. To, I don't know, you need to request some authorization or something like that. No, to not jump positions. Okay.
Okay. I think anybody willing to help, that's great. Carol? Oh, she's away.
I will say there was another question from Pip. It was a secondary part of her first question. It asked specifically about she was asking specifically to Carol about the auxiliary training programs, like how that works with closing colleges.
Yes, Pip, you can. Sorry, I had to mute because I had to talk to my son for a second. You can. I know that we have the MACO, and we have our programs that have some requirements that they want to do now. But if you can be patient, if you can ask them to be patient because something is being rewritten, okay. But if it looks like the member really wants to get this done, I don't see why they can't go with the emailing and working offline. Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, we exist for the members. We're not our own little gods up here dictating what you have to do, except in certain cases for administrative purposes, we have some rules. But yeah, I would say if you're in the middle of something and then the college is closed, email the director. It's still there on Moodle. You should be able to find that, or I'm going to be putting out a new catalog here after the first of the year because we're moving stuff around. That's something you have to be aware of. That we have merged a couple of institutes. We have broken up like the cadet college, the security college, and moved them other places. And the entire internet police, fire, and rescue has been totally redone. It's now public safety and survival, and that's all going to be new. So you're going to have to definitely look at the new catalog when we get it everything all settled and published. So there's going to be some changes on that. There's going to be some changes on your transcripts. You're going to see where did this go? Where did my security courses go? Well, that's also listed at the top of the new catalog that's coming out. Where did everything go? What happened to such and such? You didn't lose any credits. It's just been moved or renamed. So there's a lot of stuff going on this month.
Okay, great. Thank you, Carol. Pip, thanks you too. Okay, does anybody have any questions for for Jose or Cesar? I've been practicing on their names, so trying to say them correctly.
Also, you can call me Cesar. This is no problem for me. Cesar is a form from the English for my name.
I know, but Caesar to us is somebody very lofty. or it's in Planet of the Apes.
So, okay, do you want me to drop out?
Sure, if you do. I appreciate you popping in. It's so good that you answered that. Oh, because I heard from Steve where there was a bombing in Nashville, Tennessee yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday.
They were driving near there and they dropped to 3G, so he has no internet.
Yeah, they lost a lot of internet there.
It's scary stuff, and I hope they catch the people that did it.
Okay, I'm going to drop out and just be somebody. I don't know how to drop out of this.
I'll fix it, Ray. There you go. Okay. How have you gentlemen been meeting during the pandemic? And Ray wants to hear how your chapter has improvised.
By Zoom. We have meeting by Zoom.
Yes, yeah. We are meetings every Friday to see first the Picard series, then the Discovery series, and also Lower Decks, and all the Fridays at 10 p.m. The chapter is unite to see all these good series. And that's the way we manage. Also we have some visit to how do you say, to house for the elder people, and to bring in meals and something like that stuff. But also we only visit to our members to this house for the elders. And yeah, and that's the some of the activities we have in the pandemic. But well, our meetings, our physical meetings, is not available today.
Elizabeth, Steve's not here. He had to drop out because of low internet, but he should be back shortly, we hope.
Okay. We have some proposals about the manuals and also the Starfleet Academy, but I don't know if you want to take these subjects or.
Well, what would you like to see? What would you like to see different?
Sorry?
What would you like to see? You can talk about. Don't you think, Russell? He could.
What's that? Sorry, I'm doing three things at once.
He has some proposals for, like, with the handbook and the academy, and they wanted to know if it was okay if they just discuss some proposals for the handbook here, just give their ideas.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I'd say really because again, like, this gets to probably around 1% of the membership, is the easiest way to put it. On average. So based on that, you're going to have a very low amount of people that are going to be watching it. What I would recommend is writing the proposals up and then sending them up the chain. I would just send them basically directly to the EC, either to operations or someone like Jeremy Karsten. Sorry, I always do that. In Region 3 coordinator, he is pretty much the one that wrote the last revision. So any recommendations, I would say pass it along to those sorts of people, just because it's going to get the right ear. The ear that needs to hear it is going to be the one that hears it. But there's no problem with like actually talking about it on here or anything like that. I mean, we're an open organization. There's a reason why our handbook is a living handbook, and it changes, because as times change, we need to change too accordingly. Some of those changes have been kind of slow. Like we were talking about the language barriers. That's something that really should have been addressed, I mean, decades ago, in all honesty.
Okay. Pip Slack says, but is that 1% only 1% because of the language restrictions? And if there was more availability, will it become greater than 1% of the membership?
No, what I'm saying, Pip, is my streams. Right now, there's 17 people online. On average, based on analytics, it gets to about 500 views, independent views. We have an organization of almost 5,000 members. 500, 5,000, 1%. That's what I'm saying. Like, or actually, it's 10%. Sorry, or whatever. My math is all wonky right now. But the whole point is, these streams. This is one of the things people constantly barrage me with stuff, saying, "Oh, I want to announce this. I want to announce this. I want to announce this," and it's like, that's not what my streams are for. They're like, you have the After Dark, which is supposed to just be people come on, talk with the CS, have fun. You have the AMAs, which is people that would like questions answered. They come on, they ask the question. We try to answer them as best we can. It's not an announcement proposal. Like, it's not a place to come and talk about you're going to have a movie night. Just the people that are watching it live and the people that are going to be watching it later aren't necessarily your target market. Is basically the easiest way to put it. But yeah, it has nothing to do with the translation or anything. It's just literally who watches these videos, who watches these streams, is all I'm talking about. But as far as like right now, I mean, we have a very low percentage, like Cesar and Jose were talking about. We have a very low percentage of Spanish speakers in the world and I know for a fact that a lot of them are Star Trek fans, because I used to work in road construction, and the majority of our workers are from basically right along the border in Texas, in the Rio Grande area, or across the border. And when I mentioned one time that I was in Starfleet, they all kind of like chuckled, and then like two of them came up to me and they're like, "What's this all about? Is it like Star Trek fans?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're basically just like fan organization of Star Trek fans." And he's like, "Oh, I never even heard of that." And I'm like, "Oh, we have a chapter in Mexico, in Guadalajara." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, why don't you have more?" And I'm like, honestly, probably because the adoption of utilizing the native Spanish language and in a lot of our documentation has been basically ignored over the past, 20, 25 years, when it should have been more actively put. Because I can tell you right now, I know there are people in the organization that speak native Spanish, like that English is their second language. I've met them. It's just they look at what has to be done, and they look at it as this huge expansive thing, because there's so many documents, there's so many manuals between Starfleet Marine Corps. You have the base organization, you have Starfleet Academy, you have the Starfleet Marine Corps Academy. You have all of these different things that need to be translated. A lot of people don't want to sit there and translate from English to Spanish all day, especially in their free time. So that's why, like with you working with Antonio, and getting everyone organized so that the work is split amongst people as best as possible, and getting a priority set on what needs to be updated as quickly as possible.
Okay.
But that's how I see it. Like, it's been something that, with the language barrier, it's something that we should have addressed a long time ago as an organization, especially seeing that we call ourselves international. And we've been calling ourselves that for many, many years and running on an English only platform.
Okay.
And I see it as kind of a little selfish. Me, myself, I speak English and I speak German. And a little bit of Russian, but I didn't learn Spanish. Probably should have, based on everywhere I've ever lived. But when you rely on your membership to learn another, or to have learned another language just to be a part, it's kind of elitist in some ways. It's not as inclusive as what we would like to be, I think, as an organization.
Mm-hmm.
Russell, there's something for you.
What we can do in the U.S. to make our platforms more inclusive is to have bilingual and welcoming spaces. True. Yes. I mean, not every chapter is going to have the ability to do something like that. I mean, when I say I do know there are members that are native Spanish speakers and speak English as a second language and such, or know Spanish from beyond a high school level Spanish. That's not in every chapter. I've been in chapters that literally have no one that speaks any other language than English other than me. So it's one of those things where if you have a chapter and you're in an area, like I'm in a prime example. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. There is a lot of native Spanish speakers here. There's a lot of Spanish speakers here in general. It's very openly a second language. There's parts of San Antonio that have signage that are only in Spanish. You go into some restaurants and there is no English. So, and if you're an English only speaker or don't speak Spanish, you have to muddle it through. And it's me having moved here from Nevada. It was a learning experience because some of the best places to go are like that. And you get the reverse as an English speaker. You get the reverse of like what almost every native Spanish speaker who doesn't speak English has been dealing with when they're in the United States trying to find something. They have to kind of muddle their way through. And it really puts it into perspective of like us as an organization. We don't have universal translators, at least not that are, reasonably priced and easily accessible. And yet that was one of the prime examples. Like the universal translator in Star Trek was that binding force. Everybody could always speak to each other. And that helps a lot. And I think that when we get to a point where we have all of our documentation covered in multiple languages, not just Spanish, but French and German and Italian, and going across, exactly. And once those are available, we're going to be able to, as an organization, expand into those areas and basically get people back together as a community. And I think that's something that, like I said before, we haven't so much ignored, but we haven't really pressed on with getting it done. But a lot of other organizations haven't even gotten as far as we have. There's a number of organizations I can think of off the top of my head that have nothing as far as Spanish availability. Because I mean, what we've basically done as an organization by not adopting this sooner is we've made it very difficult for chapters like the Minerva to recruit, because one of the big selling points of Starfleet International to a lot of people is something like the Academy. You can go on, you can do your courses, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, yeah, but I don't speak English. So I don't understand what any of this is saying. And I don't want to sit there and use Google Translate, get it wrong, and then fail my test.
In my case, I did translate some words for my test in the Academy.
Right. Yeah, let's see. Pip was saying something here.
Yes, she read my mind. Pip.
True, but a lot of problem with Google Translate, and I've had this when I was talking with Juan a while back. I was using Google Translate, and he could understand me, but it's basically broken English. And really, what it needs is a native or a fluent speaker to go through and adjust it, because English grammar is like throwing a handful of corn at a barn. It has its rules constantly contradict itself. So it's very difficult to translate English into almost any other language and have it be understandable. AI has helped a lot, but it's still not the same as a native speaker doing it.
Yeah, and that's the work we're doing right now with Antonio De Angelis to translate the manuals to Spanish from people to Spanish, speak Spanish, native Spanish. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if somebody like me who can't speak another language volunteered to take a course and translate it best I could into Spanish, and then have somebody like Cesar proofread it, go over it, and fine tune it, fix it, then that would help. Or would it be harder?
It would depend on the text, I would think. And correct me if I'm wrong, Cesar. Like, sometimes those translations, they'll translate it into an indecipherable, like where you cannot get the context, where someone who is fluent in English and also fluent in Spanish could see, like, oh, okay, by seeing the original text. So what it comes down to is it may speed it up in some cases, but in other cases, they're still going to have to go back to that original English document and translate it from scratch, because the translation matrix just didn't catch.
Or work with the native English speaker and say, what do you, like the other day, decorum. I said decorum to Cesar, and it took us a minute, but we got it.
Yeah. And you're going to run into that. Like, it's just, the other thing is what you run into with like something like Starfleet Academy is you have classes and manuals and such that are written by English speakers from the UK, from Australia, from the Southwest, Pacific Northwest, the South, Northeast. All of those areas have dialects that are slightly different. And like, I notice it all the time here, living here in Texas and being from the West Coast. I'll use words that people here don't use. Like, it's not just a matter of vocabulary, but like how I will say something comes across differently. Like, one of the problems with West Coast dialect is there's a lot of double negative stuff in there. When you're just talking colloquially, I can't think of it offhand, but I know that when I'm talking to people here, I'll say something and they're like, what? Why wouldn't you do this? And it's like, oh no, I meant I will do this. It's just it's just how I learned to speak that term. Trying to think. And then there's also like words that are only local. Like, we use the contraction y'all in Texas, or even used to could. Now, mind you, I don't think any of those are in the manuals, but
no,
but they exist. And sometimes people, when they're writing, they're going to write in a different form. So that's why I've always said with translations, it's better to have an actual speaker of both languages translating, because the electronics can only do so much.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, that's why in a business, all your manuals, your paperwork, your correspondence should be as business-like and professional as possible, and keep it simple. So you don't, like when I wrote them and told them about today's program, I tried to keep it as simple as possible, not because they're stupid, it's just because I didn't want to fill it with a bunch of local phrases that I say, and slang.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Slang comes in, and sometimes slang is more than just words, it's how you say things. And
I can't say it's going to be as fine as frog hair today, because they would think frogs don't have hair. What is she talking about?
That's what everybody thinks, Kim.
It's just the oldest one I could think of.
Frog hair.
We say used to could here.
I know.
Like I used to could climb those stairs easier. Now I need help.
Yeah, Southern contractions, gotta love them. Not.
But the main thing is that Cesar and Jose, if you come across somebody and you think they're being unfriendly to you, it's not that. It's the language barrier. And that's why I like these videos and trying to correspond with people as much as possible. So you get to know a person better. Pennsylvania Dutch. Ooh.
Yeah. Basically Amish Dutch. But yeah, like there's big differences. Like, yeah, in like with any language you have dialects, and actually Pennsylvania Dutch is basically Low German. Low German with Dutch and inflections and such. But he has discussed about several languages. Exactly. Like I was saying, it's been addressed in the past, but it just hasn't been adopted. One of the things I noticed too with a lot of the past stuff is it was that mentality there. It was felt it was not a priority. Okay, that might be true, but at the same point, if you don't have those documents, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. By having the translations available, even though you may only have like 5 Spanish only speakers, if we've had since 1984 a Spanish members handbook, and the academy had been making classes on both sides of the aisle, we would have had there wouldn't just be one chapter in Mexico, for example. We'd probably have quite a few. We'd have chapters going down into South America. We'd have chapters in Spain. I think it's just one of those things where perception of what is needed, and then also you got to look at what could be. And that's one of the things like my department looks at a lot with a lot of the things we do is like, well, what could we make that people would enjoy watching? And we go down that path and kind of brainstorm back and forth. We see how it goes. We run some tests, test viewings, and see how they go. Why not have basic language courses in SFA? It comes down to there's no reason why there shouldn't have been any. It just comes down to the person being the person who wants to grade the tests. More than anything, I know the academy is pretty open. If you want to make a course, they'll let you make it for the most part.
I can make yes, I can participate on basic language courses in Starfleet Academy with Spanish, starting with Kimberly.
You couldn't teach me Spanish.
Yeah, I can teach you.
But this accent?
Let
and
me
actually,
talk
Ray. I was going to say, Ray has a good question there. Let's see.
Oops, sorry. We hit at the same time. Yeah, sorry.
It's the other one.
Yeah.
What could happen if it went the other way? Could a non-English chapter write their own courses in Spanish, not always copy things in English, but have some courses start in Spanish and later translated to English? Yes, that's part of Antonio's basically that entire purview. It's not just translating from English to Spanish or English to French. It's if we have material that happen to be in like Tagalog, for example, and we wanted to include it, we could probably find somebody that would be willing to translate from Tagalog to English. And it brings it into that opening of somebody might want to make an academy course, or someone might want to give a proposal for revisions to our membership handbook, but they don't speak English. So, they have their translated version so they can read it and they can make the adjustments and then say, well, I think this would be a good idea, and send it up the chain. And it just goes into the translation program with Antonio. It gets assigned to a translator. That translator then translates it and it gets sent down the chain. That's kind of like an end course idea for what that program was going to be able to do. Right now they're concentrating on the documentation more than anything. to make sure that we as an organization who are calling themselves international truly are. Because that's the biggest barrier we're going to have, which is language. We know there are Star Trek fans worldwide. You can see it when you look on the Discovery, when you're watching an episode of Discovery. If you go to the alternate languages, you can see it. They have it in Russian, they have it in Spanish, they have it in Portuguese. Like, it runs the gamut. So we know that there are people viewing it, because CBS wouldn't be having voice actors hired to play those parts, to do the voiceovers in other languages, if people weren't watching it and they weren't making money off of it. So
I'd like to learn Korean.
Korean's a fun one.
Nick, I'm from Tennessee, Northeast Tennessee.
Yeah, they'll say Carol kind of has it right. American English is a mix of so many different languages that, like, we could understand English from anywhere. But most actual, like, English speakers, they have trouble with our language. Like, American English is the one that's like, it just sounds funny.
When I worked at a university, I had to write a paper for someone, and I had one of the English teachers read it, and she said, before she could stop herself, she said, "You don't speak like this." And I went, "So?" She said, "Well, you're right. It looks intelligent." And I went, "So you're saying I'm stupid?" And she said, "Well, no, just the way you speak." And I said, "Well, I know how to write, and I know how to use good grammar. But if I'm just talking locally, at work casually, I wouldn't speak formally." But I said, then she kept apologizing, but that set the tone for our relationship for my employment there. I think she just thought I was some hick,
I mean, can you blame her, really? Sorry, I had to. But anyway,
no, I do quite well, thank you.
Could have been worse. She could have been from Oklahoma.
I only know one person from Oklahoma, and I understood her just fine.
Well, we don't understand them too well here in Texas. I know that much.
Oh, but they're right above you.
Don't ask me. But let's see.
I was confused because when Cesar told me and Jose that in Brazil they really spoke Portuguese and not Spanish.
Yes, this is the problem to the region. The whole region speak Spanish only. In Brazil speak Portuguese.
Are they the only ones that speak differently in the whole continent? Wow.
Yes. There are some. I think is it Paraguay or Uruguay? One of them has a lot of Portuguese speakers, but it's still Spanish is the official language of the country. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's because Brazil was, Portuguese. It was colonial Portugal for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, but and that's why, like, for example, we speak English because we were an English colony for the most part. Mexico and Central America, Spanish because that was Spain.
Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile.
Yeah, like it's just we are the product of colonialism when it comes to that. When it comes to our languages, I know in the United States we were close to speaking German because it was actually a vote in the Continental Congress to determine what language they would continue using officially at the time, and they said English instead of German, but it was literally one vote. But yeah, I mean, go ahead, Kim.
California, Florida, Texas speak Spanish.
We had a president that only spoke French at home. He only spoke English in public when he was meeting with for business. But at the home in the White House, he only spoke French. Monroe.
Monroe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would make it awkward.
This is a great subject about the language. But we here had a great opportunity to open new things in the Spanish world. And in all Mexico to Argentina and Chile, all these countries speaking Spanish. Only Brazil speaking Portuguese, and we have a lot of people fan from Star Trek, and I have a great opportunity to make this Starfleet International make it international. Yeah, I think. Speaking in the Spanish world, because they are French and German and whatever, but talking about the Spanish people, Spanish talking people. Mm-hmm. A great opportunity here too. And we are willing here in the USS Minerva to help to Starfleet to make the first steps in this new frontier.
Well, I'm all for it. So whatever I can do to help. Use me as a before. This is how you don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, Aaron had a question. I think what is needed to find those willing to translate? Are you asking like how someone would get in contact with the translation program, so to speak, Aaron? See, perfect example. I don't quite understand what he's trying to get at here, and he's speaking English. Well, the call has already been sent out, Aaron. CS called it out earlier this year. He got Antonio DeAngelis to basically head up a program to translate not only the documents, but, going forward would translate, basically everything that the organization produces into multiple languages. Anybody who wants to get involved with that, I mean, they just need to send an email to Antonio DeAngelis, who is the aide-de-camp of the CS. His email is on the main webpage. If you go under the Office of the Commander in the Fleet About portion, it has his email. And that's basically the start. And then the group will ascertain the level of what they can do, and then start, sending them work to do, I guess. I'm not a very, very well informed on the program other than its existence and what it's doing. I don't know how they're doing it on the internal side, but I mean, that's basically who they need to get in contact with. Antonio has a number of times, at least 3 times that I know of, on members only. So I know there are posts there.
Yeah.
I miss a lot of stuff on Facebook, though, unless I specifically go to the Starfleet members page every day. There's sometimes I won't get posts from there. So I try to check certain groups regularly.
Yeah, I tend to check members only every 2 to 3 days, and I literally scroll down until I reach posts that I recognize. And I find I don't really miss a lot. I see a lot from people that are missing things and then posting questions about things that they come up, and it's like, if you'd scroll down a page, there's literally an announcement about that. There was one today where someone asked, they got a message from somebody saying if they didn't get their SCC number, that they were going to be kicked off of all the member streams on or all the member groups on Facebook. And they're asking the question, but if they'd scrolled down literally 3 comments down from that, was the comment from the Senior Vice Chief of Communications saying that he would be sending out private messages to people who need to verify their SEC number to keep their access. It's a lot of it comes down to just people don't want to scroll down, I think. But is there a translate group, Facebook group for the people helping out? I don't know if they have a Facebook group. I would assume so, based on Antonio, how he kind of does stuff.
This is available one Facebook group from translation group. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, where'd Kim go? Oh, she had to walk off, I guess. Let's see here. One of the problems with pinning is when everything gets pinned to the top, it does no difference. Because then you have 15 things pinned to the top, and then people just don't pay attention to what's pinned. Let's see. D'Angelo is the coordinator. I forgot to mention that earlier. TJ Allen and Jill Rayburn want to know how the translations are going so we can incorporate the translated materials into the curriculum. I would say the best way for that one would be have TJ or Jill contact Antonio directly, and set up the chain, so to speak, between the academy and that program. Because in all honesty, they're going to be concentrating on just translating the documents themselves, and then possibly later into the courses. But if they're looking for something a little more earlier, I mean, if you need something, you want something, you don't wait for that to come to you. You usually go after them. That's
right.
It's one thing I've noticed too with Starfleet is everybody wants everybody to come to them when they want something, but nobody's a psychic. Nobody has a Swami hat.
I do.
Okay, you're the only one.
I have lots of hats. Lots and lots of hats.
I believe there is. No. I believe there is. It's part of the same group. They're also going to look at audio translations as well. I just don't think that was their main priority at the moment.
Yes, I just chat with Anthony DeAngelis, and one of the goals of the next year is to start with the translation of the handbook to audio, to Spanish audio. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, who did you send a message to?
Wasn't me. So I just checked mine. So.
Oh, was it me? Because we're buds. She's let me use her Zoom before. We have the Region 1 trivia contest.
See, and that's what I was getting at with like a lot of the stuff with the translation group is anybody who has material that they're going to want to move into other languages. The best bet they can do is get it formulated as best they can, check it and make sure it's good in English first. Correct spelling, correct grammar as best you can. And there's a number of apps that you can get that help with that. And then passing it on to the translation group for translation. And then that'll get it into their queue. So a lot of it's going to be more proactiveness on the people producing content, making sure it's getting to the proper people and going through the right channels to get translated, instead of having the translation group having to find them, so to speak. Because what it comes down to is if they don't know it exists, they're not going to know to look for it.
I tried to find somebody for today that spoke Spanish that was an English speaker and crickets. Couldn't get, just to help out because
I've noticed that there's a lot more people that are native Spanish speakers in places like Mexico that speak enough English where they can be understood by an English speaker pretty easily. A lot more than the vice versa in the United States, which
Mhm.
sometimes kind of sad. Like I know enough Spanish to kind of get by. I could find my way to a bus station. I could find a restaurant and make an order and stuff if I was in Mexico. I could read the road signs. But yeah, as far as having an actual conversation, no way.
Okay.
Cesar, there's something for you. Whoops.
We both clicked it.
This Nick Kirchner says, Cesar, tu capítulo se basa en la próxima generación. This is in Spanish. Your chapter is based on the next generation. Yes, we are the next generation chapter, and also we are on Akira class. An Akira. Oh.
That was an Akira class.
Oh, emergency! Red alert! An Akira class. We are an Akira class, the USS Minerva in the Star Trek Next Generation. That's our chapter.
It's beautiful. I just love starships.
Yeah, I love it too. I love it.
My ship is hilarious. We're a Nebula class, and we're based in the Picard era. So we're like the oldest ship in the fleet, probably. It's like the running joke of our ship is like, nothing really works here, and we can't get parts for anything because it's all old stuff. So yeah, we kind of just muddle through.
You didn't get an upgrade like Discovery?
No. No, we didn't.
When Cesar and I spoke the other night, he was telling me about his Star Trek history, because we're close to the same age, and we were talking about watching the original series in black and white.
Yeah. My family is in a religious tradition to see the TOS series in my parents' home, and we have a black and white television with bulbs. These old bulbs, and all my family, my parents, my mom and dad, call us to see the original series, and all my brothers and all my family stay one television house to see in black and white the original series. Since I was 6 years old, I see it the Star Trek, and also I became a fan from Star Trek. Yeah,
I remember that in black and white.
Yeah, and when you start the television, the screen start with a white dot, and then when the bulbs heat it, they start to open the image to all the screen.
And before Star Trek came out, there would be the Peacock for NBC, and this would say in color.
Yeah.
Jose, how old were you when you first discovered Star Trek?
Okay, I was 6 years old, with a color in the 80s.
Oh.
I remember seeing for the video, Betamax, VRC, the first movies.
Mm-hmm.
And before in the cinema, I watched the Voyager Home. Was my first movie.
Oh. Yeah, there was an anniversary of a movie. One of them. Was it Generations just had an anniversary? Oops. Sorry about that. What am my crew calling? Russell's so young.
Kimberly, your ship, what is the class of your ship?
Olympus,
Olympic class?
sorry.
Olympic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Olympic. It's Olympus.
It's Olympus. Sorry. Look, I've had very little sleep the past few days. Oh, and Cesar, thank you. My mom is recovering nicely from her procedure.
Okay. Good.
He
Okay,
put Mom on his list for prayers, and we drove over to Charlotte, and it went very well. So she's just sleeping a lot right now. No nausea, no pain really. So we'll see.
That's great. That's great. That's a great. Thank you. Thank you for how do you say to? The word is missing. To tell me this. Okay. Your ship is an Olympic class.
No, Olympus. Olympus. Sorry.
Okay. I think this is well.
That's Daedalus.
I like that.
That's Daedalus class. Yeah.
Yeah. The Olympic is basically just like the TNG version of the Daedalus.
Yeah.
It was like wasn't that a big medical ship?
Yeah. That one was the one we saw, at least.
I like that. We were just had our second anniversary of our commissioning, and some of the crew, they're younger and they wanted to change because to them TOS was like stone tablet ancient history. They wanted something more current, so we took a vote and moved on up into the Picard era. So that was one of my crew calling just then. So yeah, we've not been able to meet. Yeah, Elizabeth is the CO of the Resolute, and that's the name I wanted for our ship when we launched. But Yorktown won the coin flip. My husband wanted a name for like American battles, so for the American Revolution. So.
How about to say the Resolute is actually, I think, the closest physical chapter to the Minerva, if I remember correctly, the one in El Paso. So.
I wish Mexico was part of the United States, and that way it'd just be easier.
That would be interesting. I will say I've never quite understood, based on the mutual histories of our country. Yeah, we had a war against each other, but when it was Spain still. But it's still, I just never understood why there's such a divide between the two. We're like the only two nations in the world that, fought against imperialists to get away from them as colonies to create our own nations. It just seems like we would be closer than we actually are. And for some reason, the United States, they always say the closest ally is the UK. And I'm like, those are the people we fought to get away from. Like, shouldn't we hate them still? Like, just saying. No offense, guys. We all love you over there in Region 20. Just saying, history doesn't really.
Yeah, just like Korea and Japan and stuff, like my grandparents, they're gone now. They were still leery about anything Oriental, from Asia, but they lived during that time, and I like it. I like Mexican food, that's for sure.
Yeah, you need to come to Mexico.
Yeah, you probably have to have actual Mexican food because you're in Tennessee, so it's probably Tex-Mex.
My favorite one, though, but they're from Mexico. I can't understand we always get the same waitress because she likes us, and she laughs at me trying to say, let's see, what do I get? El Patron, something I get, or
tequila.
No, no tequila.
Well, El Patron is tequila.
Well, this is what this is called, and I like it because it's got the guacamole that it's chunky. It's not like a paste. It's more of a chunky stuff, and you can see the avocados and tomatoes and onions in it chopped up. And it smells like summertime to me, just like fresh vegetables from a garden. And it's chicken breast, pounded thin and cooked with spices, and then it has that cheese poured over it.
Queso fresco.
Oh yeah, that cheese I could just like,
Russell, do you pronounce well the queso fresco?
Yes.
Well, I'm in Texas. Like we have to pronounce that stuff right, or we don't get it. Like that's what happens. Like you pronounce it wrong, you don't get what you want.
Okay, Russell. We made some experiment here. Okay, we start to speak in Spanish. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you could try it. I'll get maybe like half the words, but
maybe Kimberly learned something about the chilaquiles. Okay.
I'll try. I couldn't even get the waitress to understand me saying rice. She could, and Tom had to say it to her in Spanish.
Okay, Ross, I'm talking in Spanish with you. Okay,
right.
Ross. Okay, mucha gente en tu casa, cerca de tu casa, hablan español.
Let's see, something. My house, in your house, in Spanish. The first part kind of cut out a little bit because of internet. Let's see.
Okay. Gente alrededor de tu casa habla español.
Nope, the first half I cannot understand.
Okay.
In San Antonio. Wow.
In San Antonio, nearby, some people talking Spanish. Some people talk Spanish nearby of your home. Yeah. Okay. That's a question in Spanish.
Yes. All people speak Spanish.
Oh yeah, there's a massive Spanish-speaking community here in San Antonio. Like
we have a lot here in Kingsport. I mean, there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people.
I would wager to say that there's more people in San Antonio that speak fluent Spanish than speak fluent English.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from the fact that most people here in Texas don't speak English. They speak like Texan or something because it's not English. At least not for me, at least. But yeah, there is a large community of Spanish speakers here. My problem is with Spanish is just the changing of the like the speed in which it's spoke, which same thing with English. Syllables get merged in my hearing because I only have one ear. So like right now on this, the reason why I was saying I have trouble hearing over the phone is because it has a stereo speaker and then I only have one ear that works. So what I have to do on most of my audio is I have to run the audio from this ear into this ear. So I'm hearing stereo as mono. I meld the two so I actually can hear better. But yeah, like it's for me, it's always been the speed. Usually when it would slow down or such and I could break apart the words, I can catch it. But I'm doing it because I'm actually translating it. I took Latin. So if I can hear the base words and be able to separate them into their own, I can kind of extrapolate what the original Latin was. And then once I get that, I can pop it back into English a little easier. That's why like when I go in places and I can read it, I'm awesome because then it's like, oh, I can read it. So I know written Latin. So it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's why I like English. Oh, go ahead.
No. I say to Kimberly to came to Mexico. I invited to came to Guadalajara to take some tacos. No Taco Bell. This is.
Oh no! I don't need Taco Bell. No.
I'm traveling to United States, and some people say, "Oh, you are a Mexican. We are going to Taco Bell," and I'm testing the beans and say this is not a Mexican beans, and the taco is not a really taco. You need to came to Mexico here in Guadalajara. There are some really nice meal here. Traditional meal here in Mexico, and it's delicious. And also the Mexican cuisine is considered an international treasure. The Mexican cuisine, the original Mexican cuisine, not a Taco Bell or something like that.
Oh no!
Like a burrito.
Taco Bell is not Mexican food at all. It's not even Tex-Mex. Like
I don't know what it is.
It's. Someone thought about, hey, let's make this thing and call it a taco. Like, I remember the first time I went to it, like in Nevada, we don't have a lot of good Mexican restaurants. There are some, but they came in long after, and my family never went to them. So when I got to Texas, I remember one day I was like, "Oh, chalupa," and I was thinking the fried flatbread thing from Taco Bell, and I ordered it, and I'm like, "What is this? This looks like a tostada," and they're like, "Oh no, it's chalupa." I'm like, "Okay, looks like I got to relearn what Mexican food is."
Okay.
And it was a good experience. It was a very good experience. We have a lot of Jalisco style Mexican food up here. That's like super popular here. There's a couple of places that are more like Guadalajaran cuisine, but they're a little more pricey. I think it's because of the seafood. There's a lot more like shrimp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Taco Bell. Taco Bell's great if you can't make it to a Walgreens to get some, laxatives. That's the easiest way I put it.
Rachel asked, "What's the best thing we should eat if we come to Guadalajara?"
Well, maybe it's carne Garibaldi.
Okay, this is a good question. Yeah, carne Garibaldi, Garibaldi meat in English. It's a plate with beans and something like a soup, like a bean soup with meal, and it's delicious. Also, carnes Garibaldi have the world the Guinness record to the fastest food served, and it's delicious. If you came to Guadalajara, you don't miss Carnes Garibaldi. That's the name. Carnes Garibaldi. It's delicious. It's a good dish.
And the tortas ahogadas too.
Yeah, there's a lot. Tortas ahogadas have been translated in English. Tortas ahogadas, drunken lounge. Is drunken lounge tortas ahogadas or something like that? But it's a delicious. This is a bread. Open it with pork meat and with some sauce and onion and with chili if you want. It's delicious to here in Guadalajara. Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't recommend birria. Because isn't that like the most well known?
Birria. La carne de chivo. Las carne de chivo.
The birria.
Yes.
Yeah, the birria is delicious too. Here in Guadalajara is one place, is traditional place, and a lot of international people came to eat here in Guadalajara to this restaurant. They call the Chololos. This is the name of the restaurant, the Chololos, and this is a good place to eat birria. Yeah. How do you say translated chivo in English? Let me translate it.
No, this one. Maybe one.
Chivo. I don't know. Translated. I need to translate it. Chivo. Goat. Goat is the nearest translation. Goat. Goat meat is a good dish here in Guadalajara, and that the restaurant is a good. The Chololos. The name of the restaurant is the Chololos. Okay.
No goat meat for me. No.
Oh, goat is delicious.
Well, we are talking about meat.
Yeah,
they're so cute.
You know what? Cows are cute too. Still,
I've given up red meat. I don't eat red meat anymore. So
pigs. Some of the pigs are cute too. They're delicious.
I don't eat pig. The only thing I eat now is fish, really, and crustaceans.
You only eat the ugly things? Got it.
Yes. I have no problem eating a crab leg. I just don't think about it. When they bring me a lobster that still has the eyes and it's looking at me, I cannot.
Yeah, so you're not someone to get Louisiana cuisine and start eating, mud bugs.
I thought I would like that, but I don't like anything. It's like Cajun or blackened. None of that. So I don't know. Well,
I was going to say, go ahead.
When I had to give up tortillas, that ruined a lot of stuff for me. Anything with bread, flour, I miss all that. It's like this morning, I made a mountain of pancakes for everybody, and I just left them, went in the other room while they all plowed them in. Mud bugs are crawdads, right, Russell?
Crayfish, yeah.
Good night, John.
Yeah, it's like crayfish, crawdads, crawfish, mud bugs. It's all the same thing. They're just basically like little miniature lobster things.
Right. You have to make do with what you got.
Let's see.
Edward. I don't eat lobster, just the crabs. Crab legs. What was it? I can't remember. He said I'd eat Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. Not if he talked to me.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't eat anything that was talking. It's generally not good to eat sentient things.
My daughter Morgan will eat. She'll try anything. And I don't know where she got that from. And if she doesn't like it, she'll say no thank you. But she will try. I've seen her eat alligator, and she ate crawfish.
Alligator.
You ate alligator?
Yes, in Florida, in Miami, I ate the sandwich, the alligator sandwich.
Did you like it? You liked it?
Yes, I love it.
She said it was very rich, and in fact, she ate too much of it. She got sick.
It's similar to chicken, but...
She said it was chicken with oomph. That was more flavorful than chicken. But no.
Here in Mexico, don't find the alligator eat with milk. But in Florida, wow.
My dad's eaten snake before. He ate rattlesnake. He tasted it.
Just tastes like chewy chicken.
Oh, I watch a lot of Asian shows, and in Korea they eat chicken feet. And when I see somebody pick one of those up to eat it, it just
They eat that in the South.
I've never seen anybody eat chicken feet before. Pig's feet, yes.
Pig's feet's chicken feet. You can find it. It's in the grocery store.
I'm not
it's in the
saying
same place as pig's feet.
I don't eat pig's feet either. I can't. Oh, I was a picky eater. You wouldn't know that by looking at me, but when I was growing up, my parents had a hard time with me. But I got paid back because Matthew was picky. But Morgan, she'll try anything. And so will younger Matt. And you don't appreciate having a kid that will eat stuff until you have one that won't.
Yeah, I was the one that would eat almost anything. I'm about to say there's few meats in the world I haven't actually had. So, like, I've had horse and camel and goat.
You ate horse?
It's really good, actually. And donkey. Donkey is amazing. But
get him,
really?
Cesar.
Donkey sauce? Oh, donkey sausage. I'm telling you. It's ridiculously good.
Seriously?
I don't know why. Yes, it's ridiculous. I don't know why, but it's delicious. Camel is terrible. Do not eat dromedary. Do not eat it ever. The people who eat that don't have tongues or something because it's nasty. But
the look on their faces when you said that, they like.
I had dog and cat too. So.
Oh, that's the limit.
What? In India, they keep cows as pets. I mean.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, Paul, I had the opportunity to eat monkey, and I totally did not do that.
So we know there's a line you drew.
Yeah, I've had mealworms. I've taken survival courses in the military. I've had mealworms. I've ate spiders. I've eaten cockroaches. I've eaten ants. I've eaten...
No, I only eat cricket.
Crickets.
cricket?
I've had crickets. Yeah.
Here in the south of Mexico, in Oaxaca, Chiapas, and that states, it's a good meal to eat a cricket. Yeah, it's tacos from cricket. This is a good meal. I don't like it. I don't eat it.
I am proud to Oaxaca cricket. Sometimes I buy from Mercado Libre cricket to Oaxaca. Yummy.
Yeah, Rachel has it right. Depends on how you prepare them, because I've had really terrible crickets, like that was just like I might as well just taken a piece of salt and put it in my mouth because they like drowned it in salt. And then I've had other stuff like the tacos. There's a place in where is that place called? Casterville. They have a Mexican restaurant where they actually have crickets, and they make those tacos, and they're really, really good. But
Chile and cricket.
You're killing it. No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Paul Williams says, I've swallowed bugs riding motorcycle.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I've swallowed water bugs. Yeah, June bugs. That one really. I had to pull over after that one because it nearly about killed me. Because I don't know if you get June bugs up there. They're like size of size of a 10 peso coin, the old coins. But they're like hard. They're like a giant rock with wings, and it came right in my mouth and hit the back of my throat and nearly threw me off the bike because it was like literally like taking a rock. That was like,
And they fly fast and they flutter.
Yeah, and they're also stupid. If you have a pool, they'll end up in your pool and drown themselves. Because
we used to catch them and tie a string to one of their legs, and you'd play with it and let it fly. That was a thing to do when I was a kid. We didn't have a lot of entertainment. That and fireflies.
Yeah. Well, after this talk, we are available to eat Klingon food.
See, I've had some of the Klingon food. Like I've basically had gak. It was cooked, but it was gak.
Yeah, gak. Yeah.
Do you remember
fresh gak? Fresh gak.
Yeah, I haven't had fresh worms. I didn't partake that far, but yeah.
One of the early Next Generation episodes where they had the little wiggle thing sticking out of their neck.
Yeah, they ate mealworms.
Yeah, well, they had. Was that mealworms?
Those are mealworms. Yeah.
Okay, and Riker had to pretend he had one, and he picked them up and ate them. Oh, God.
They don't really have a taste. They're more of a textural thing. Their taste is very neutral, but.
All right, have I showed you all my triple earmuffs? Look how big these are.
No, it's Princess Leia.
I thought they looked like psychedelic tribbles, so I bought them. Whew, okay, I'm sorry, but I have to go help my mother. She's ready to get up now and needs to do some lady stuff. And
we're close to 2 hours, so
yeah, I appreciate you all coming on. And Russell, thank you for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you, Russell.
So today we were briefly joined by our fleet admiral and the commanding officer of the Minerva, Jose Carlos, and his executive officer, Cesar. I'm going to do it. Ficachi. Is that close enough? Ficachi?
Ficachi, yes. Ficachi,
okay.
Yeah.
And so thank you all for coming. And there's another one on the 30th for the United States. And as far as I know, we're going to carry these on into 2021. Right, boss?
Yeah, AMAs will continue. After Darks might peter off where we're only doing 2 a month or something along those lines. It's all going to depend on viewership and such. But everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for listening in. It's good to see that we do have, these members internationally. We are an international organization. And reach out to them, guys. they're the same. They're the same as everybody here. We all want to be here, and we all want the brotherhood and camaraderie of being in this club. So, I mean, don't count them out. Just because they have a different language, we can
Send
find
them
ways.
an email,
Right?
and we all love Trek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And exactly, we have something that keeps us all together, and that's Star Trek. So, all right.
I'm the
Peace
Empress.
and long life.
Please,
Bye.
long life. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Got it.